Hello everyone, so welcome to the part 3 of task 4. So in this part we are going to do a job 2 of task 4, and also we are going to perform the complete task or complete workflow of this task from git to job 1, job 2 and everything we are going to perform in this part. Okay. In last part we have done the job 1 part, so in this part we are going to do job 2. So job 2 duty is to create a deployment. We use the image of that Docker Hub in previous part, the image which we have pushed to our Docker Hub account. That image is going to use in job 2 using a kubectl deploy command and all, so that it can deploy to our pods. And interesting part I have already showed or explained in a first part of this task 4 series. In it I explained that slave node is dynamically created, means it will use the kubectl configure image and run all the job 2 kubectl command in it, and contact to the Kubernetes cluster, and then after contacting to the Kubernetes cluster it deploy all the pods, and when it get deployed client can access the web server. So, and also I have exposed the pods, that's why client can access the web server. And as soon as this part done or completely slave node run all the commands of job 2, then this slave node is get terminated, completely destroyed. This is the job 2 part. I hope you are getting it. Main part here is that we are going to configure this Jenkins dynamic cluster, and that's how it will work. So now let me show you the one more part that for this job 2 or for this part we need 2 virtual machines or 2 systems. In it one we need a Jenkins to run Jenkins in a running state, and in one we need a Docker server. Means I'm using for this practical, I'm using 2 virtual machines. You can see I have draw one small diagram. In one virtual machine, this one I will show you. In this Red Hat clone and Red Hat slave. In Red Hat clone Jenkins is running, and in Red Hat slave Docker server is running. In VM1 there is no Docker install, or there is no Docker services is running. So what we are doing, that Jenkins will contact to the Docker server and run the command in it and create a dynamic slave node here and run all the kubectl command in it, and after this all commands of kubectl run successfully, then it will destroy that container. In Docker we call container, but in Jenkins part we call it node. But what happens that Docker server by default it work locally, means we have to go inside VM2, then only we can run the Docker commands. But for Jenkins to contact to the Docker server and run the command of Docker server have to enable the networking support. So we have to enable the networking support in VM2 where our Docker server is running. So right now I am in Jenkins server. Here our Jenkins is running. you can please what you can say, remember this IP, and last 103 is mentioned, 192.168.99.103. Here you can see our Docker command is not running here. Okay, there is no Docker service is running in this virtual machine. Now let me go to the I will check that Jenkins is running or not. I will show you. Here you can see Jenkins is active. Jenkins server is running here. Now let me go to the slave part, means in a Docker server part, second virtual machine or second system. I will say that in a you can see a Docker is running, and above I have already run the command. I will again run it for you. Docker. You can see it. Docker is active and Docker server is running here. Not PA, it's PS. So in a running state and no containers are running. So this is it. This second virtual machine is our Docker server, and Jenkins is going to contact this Docker server using the TCP protocol in Docker server. So we have to enable the TCP protocol or network support in this Docker server. So for this we have to add something or do configure in a config file of a Docker server. So I'm going inside this config file of Docker server. If you get confused that which one is a Docker server and which one is Jenkins, so I will suggest that in the left side of a corner, a Red slave is our Docker server, and Red Hat clone is our Jenkins server, where Jenkins is running. Some mistakes. Yes, I forgot to write a system. Yes. So this is the file which we have to go inside, and here we have to type that I have to enable this TCP protocol or network support, so that anyone can, or a specific IP can access this Docker server. So 0.0, I'm giving 0.0. It's not a good practice, so that anyone can access this Docker server. And port number 4243, you can give any port number that you want. So we have done some changes in config file. So for this we have to run this command, otherwise it will not get updated. Restart Docker. Now we will run docker command, that Docker is running or not. Docker, yes, you can see active. It's running perfectly fine here. Now I am in Jenkins server. If you get confused, I told you at left side I have mentioned it. Red Hat clone and Red Hat slave. Clone is where Java Jenkins is running. Yes, now. Okay, I am in Jenkins server. So now I will run docker command. So it's fail. Let me check one more time. So we can't run this docker command now. We have to tell that our Docker server is running here. So we have to write a command in this Red Hat clone part, Red Hat clone virtual machine where our Jenkins is running. So we have to type the IP. Where is our Docker server? So we have to type the IP of our Docker server. 105. I told you 103 is of Jenkins and 105 is of Docker server, and 4243 same. So this command is very important. Now if you type a Docker command, now it's going to this IP or to this server, Docker server, and running this command. It is not running in this virtual machine or this system, and this showing their output. Some background, that some configuration or setup we need for job 2. So this part is done, that Jenkins can contact to the Docker server and run the Docker command inside this. So this part is done. So now, right now, we have to configure the dynamic Jenkins node. So I am now going to the Jenkins dynamic cluster. So you have to go inside a manage Jenkins. Here below option comes manage nodes and clouds. Manage nodes is for statics and clouds is for dynamic one. So here is our master, and this is our cloud, a new node. Here we create a static node, and here we configure the dynamic node. So we'll go inside it because we know we need a dynamic node or sleeve node. So go inside this Docker cloud detail. Here I have written a Docker host URL. So this is our Docker server. I will again show you. So this is okay. So now let's go again to our Jenkins. So I wrote the Docker host where it is running, and I will check the connectivity. Yes, you can see the Jenkins can connect to it. I enable and I expose the Docker host. Now go to the Docker agent templates. Now giving the label is very important. I am giving slave. You can give anything because we need it at the time of job, running a job over there we need, and you can give any name. And I am using the Docker image, which is a Kubernetes. I will show you the image which I have created using this Dockerfile. So creating an image of dynamic cluster, dynamic node, we need something to be done in this Dockerfile. We need that this image should be a Linux operating system. There should be a SSH enable so that Jenkins can go inside this container and run the kubectl command, and we give the username and password, and we configure the kubectl in it, and can this where our minikube is running. This will contact to in this minikube or a Kubernetes cluster. This I have explained you. This one already explained you. So this is the prerequisite we require for creating a Dockerfile of this what you can say, Jenkins dynamic node. So this is the part of this giving a password and all. I have given a root and Reddit a password, this username and password. First part done. That image is Ubuntu, so Linux. I am fixing SSH login, so this part is also done. I have enabled the SSH, and I also configure the kubectl command, and also install the given the part that OpenJDK 8 GRE, and you can see install and set up kubectl. So this is a prerequisite we require. So I have created an image of it and push that image to my Docker hub. This here you can see a Kubernetes. This is the image which I have created using that Dockerfile. So it's giving the name of this image. This will pull that image and create the dynamic node, slave node for running the kubectl commands in it of job 2. And one more important thing inside this container, we have to give this kubectl file, because without this it can't contact to the Kubernetes cluster. We need the authority key and some cryptography and code and all the given, so that it can contact to the Kubernetes cluster. Otherwise it won't run the kubectl command. So I have copy this command in my local machine of what you can say where Docker is running, our Docker server is running. So I will show you that file where it is. Where it is not here. Root and kubectl. Okay. Let me find a change that to cube. Okay, may not, it is not there. Oh, sorry, I'm in a Jenkins server machine. Here it is. Here I will get. Yes, you can see here. Kubectl. So this is the file which I have kept here and mounted it with that container, which is going to mount with root directory. So Jenkins will come on this Docker web server and what you can say, create a container. While creating container, it will mount this kubectl file with this root .kube. On the fly, it will create that .kube directory, and this is the Kubernetes image which we are using for dynamic cluster node. This is a minikube is running in my Windows system. It will contact with it. Okay, remote file system root. I haven't created any directory in it, so I'm giving it as a root only. You can also give a root, and we have to go inside Jenkins have to go inside this container. So connect with SSH. So giving the credential of that I have kept here. I will show you this one. I have given a root and Reddit password, so that Jenkins can go inside this container which is going to create using Kubernetes image which is there in Docker hub. Now let's move to the job 2 part. What I have written in job 2, I will show you. So this one is very important. Labels, slave. I have told you at that time. I will show you again. This is very important. If you don't give, it will not contact to the master or dynamic cluster node. Yeah. Here it is, labels. Okay. So we have to give a labels that restrict where this job can be run. So this job is going to run here in Jenkins dynamic slave node, and we are running this command in this node, this slave node, this kubectl command, and we are using this image. Okay, we are using this image Apache web server where our developer code is there for our client. So I am deploying the pods deploy, which is going to do a rollout and do the monitoring of the pods. So if this pod name is Prakash pod is there, then it will show that it is already running. So do rollout, so it will go to the Docker hub and check is there any update comes. So yes, update comes that it will do a rollout. It will update the pods and terminate the previous or old pods. And if this Prakash pod is not found, then it will create a deployment. And for deployment is using an image, which we have a push in a job 1, this one, and we are exposing this pod by a load balancer. Using a load balancer, it will load, what you can say, load balancing means if when traffic comes, it will balance the load, and we are using a replicas 3, so there will be a 3 pods and kubectl all. It will show the complete detail. So this is it in job 2 of task 4. So apply and save. Now build. Now we are going to do I'm going to this dynamic cluster so that I can show you that here the slave node is going to launch and create and run all the job 2 commands. It will create dynamically here, and when the job is done, it will get terminated and deleted. So let me build now. So it's building. We will see here that it will create a slave node dynamically according to the requirement. It will create. You can see here it's launching. When it launch, then task 4 and job 2 is going to run. That's why it's showing in a pending state. Now it will get start. Let me refresh. It started. Yes, you can see here it started. So it found that pod is already running, so it's doing a rollout. It's going to the Docker hub and terminating the old pods and launching the new pods. Interesting part is that deployment is very smart. When client is accessing the web server, then it won't delete that pod. As soon as the client exit from that web server, then it will delete that pod and launch the new one. Now all three pods are identical, exactly same, because we have given a replicas 3. So this is the load balancer or port number which we are going to use or give to the client, so that the client can access the here you can see that slave node is dynamically deleted. In terms of resource management, it is very good and very best. Now I will show you that IP of our minikube. Here it is. So I will use this IP because in this Kubernetes cluster our web server is running. Here you can see exactly same code which we have seen in job 1 part 1 of this part 2 of this video series. Exactly same code. So now we are going to perform the complete workflow of this task from GitHub job 1 and then job 2, everything from start to end we are going to do. Yeah, you have to do a chaining between the job 1 and job 2 that I am doing. So as soon as job 1 runs successfully, job 2 is going to run. And here it is done. Everything is good. And here I have created a build pipeline. I will show you. Here it is. Build pipeline. So let me do some update in code and then we push to GitHub. Notepad, and our file name is index.html. I'm just adding some something in a file. In real world, developer add some features in a website, like in a Facebook. Developer add some buttons and new features. So they test it and then they finally deploy to the production world. So we are using it in a very simple way. So writing a simple codes so that it get understandable for everyone. So let me add more. One more apostrophe. Yes. Now I save and close. Git add dot, it will go to the / not dot s. It will do or put our file in a staging area, and now I am committing this file index.html-m, and I will write the commit updated code. Yes. File is ready to push. I'm using hooks here, that's why automatically it get updated or pushed to a GitHub. So it started, completed, and finally push to GitHub. Let me check. You can see it's commit, one commit, and it will show you updated code 1. You can see here finally it got pushed to GitHub. Now let let me see that job 1 runs or not. So we are using a poll SCM here. So job 1 is going, or a Jenkins will go to a GitHub to every 1 minute and check is there any commit done by developer or not. If yes, then it will run this job, otherwise it won't. It take around 1 minute around. Let me go inside it. Yes, it started. You can see here. Job 1 started. So what this job 1 do? It pull the code and Dockerfile from GitHub and build an image from this Dockerfile and push to our Docker Hub account. Here it is showing a 2 hour. Now I will refresh it. Here you can see a few seconds ago. Here you can see. So finally job 1 runs successfully. So now let's go to the this Jenkins node. So it is started running. You can see here it's launching the slave node. Let's go to the job 2. Here it is. It's running. Here you can see it's doing a rollout. Going to the Docker Hub update. Here you can see it's updated. The code which we have pushed to GitHub is finally updated with 0 downtime. Any downtime we haven't faced. Now this node is going to destroy or terminate. Refresh. Why it's not showing a refresh? Yes, it's perfectly fine. I think something is running behind the scene, that's why it's showing oh, it's not cut yet, terminated. Let me do one more time this part. I will again update the code. Let me do notepad, and this time I am changing the background. I will give a yellow background. And rest everything I am keeping everything same as it is. Save, and I'm saving. And now close. Git add, yes. Now commit, I will do commit. Code 2, yes. So now let me this I'm doing because why it is not get terminated, that's why I'm doing it. It's now also it's showing again. Yes, you can see it's push to GitHub. Refresh, you can see code 1 is showing here. Now when we refresh it, it will show code 2. You can see here. Now this job is going to run, job 1. Again it will build the image and push to the Git Docker Hub, and again job 2 is going to run and use the Kubernetes one, that kubectl configure image. You can see here job 1 started, not here. Yeah, in a master node it started. Yes, correct, fine. it's pushed. Image created, built, and successfully done. Now let's move to the job 2, that it's started running or not. Yes, you can see here it's creating the slave node. It's older one. Yes, you can see here it's running the job 2 and doing a rollout, going to update here. Yes, you can see a yellow background came here. Now I will refresh it. I want to show you that this node, yes, it's running job 2. When it's completely run successfully, this job 2, then this slave node is going to terminate or destroy. I want to show that part. That's why I've done this part again. Yes, you can see here the slave node is terminate automatically. When the job part come, when the job 2 part come or completed successfully, then this node is get terminated. Yes, you can see here with any zero downtime, we are running our web server perfectly fine. So this dynamic Jenkins is very powerful. This give the very good to manage the resources, which is very good for managing the resources. So this complete whole workflow we have done in a one flow. This job 2 and all, everything we have done. This one, everything. And finally the client can access the web server. Everything we have done. Hope so you enjoyed this part. It is very interesting, practical. I will give my GitHub repository link in my description. You can get the complete code from there and practice this task. So that's it for this task. So thank you.